think for the most part, a lot of good things happened. We had some bills that we were able to pass that were constituent driven, and I think that's the most important thing is following what the people want. We're there to represent them. So I think that one of my favorite bills, and I know that one of my constituents' favorite bills, would be the No Patient Left Alone Act. I know that was a matter of great concern to a lot of people across the spectrum. And so a lot of work went into that bill, and I appreciate Representative Mayberry. She really did a lot of work on that, and I was so pleased to see it passed. We didn't get everything that we wanted, but we got everything that we could get because of the confines with the federal system. So that was a highlight for me. The couple of bills that I know that constituents appreciated getting those passed. Like any session, there's going to be bad too. And so one of the things I would say, this is my second session, so I'm still somewhat a rookie. I think we passed too many bills. I think we sponsor too many bills, and that's just a recipe for mistakes. And some things get in that shouldn't be in unintentionally and sometimes intentionally. And I don't think we give things the type of review that a law that's going to impact people's lives should merit. And so that would be my concern this session, last session, next session. I believe we should do some more self-regulating. Obviously, things were different because of COVID this session. I also know for me, I was on two different committees this session. So it was a new learning curve for both of those. I was on revenue and tax and state agencies last session. And this session I was on education, which I was very happy to be on. And that's been a learning experience for me. I still have much to learn, and also on aging, children, and youth. And that's a burden of mine as well. So it was a new, like I said, new experience for that with regard to those committees. But there's so much going on in education. We need to be mindful. We need to be vigilant, and we need to bring in our constituents on a lot of those bills that didn't get the attention maybe from the media, but impact people's lives. And we need to really, that's my goal. Next session, if I'm back, is to continue to try to broaden the net so more people can have their voice heard, and let them know. The last thing you want to hear when you go out to your constituents is, oh, I didn't know about that bill. Oh, I didn't know about that bill. Wow, that happened to us. And so to get a better vehicle, people say to me, how can we make more of a difference? How can we get involved? And so I think it's encouraging to tell people toward the middle of the sessions, we started getting groups involved and started getting a process where we're shooting out some of these bills to people who cared about the education bills or people who had an interest in here, and getting more input, and then allowing them to shoot those out to the people so people can review and catch things that we have too many bills up there, as I said. So that would be my goal for the next session, to improve on that, and it encourages people to know, yes, you can make a difference. I think as far as I did not sponsor many bills, and that's intentional. One bill that I did was the primary sponsor of was the guardianship reform bill for adult guardianships. Of course, that's been in the news a lot lately for the people who are familiar with the Britney Spears case. But here in Arkansas, we made some changes, and I was really pleased the Judicial Council worked with me and constituents to try to make, we came up with an adult wards Bill of Rights. And so the effort is, first of all, to make this accessible, to make the court system accessible. So if there's an adult ward, usually it's our elderly people in these situations. And most of the guardians, it's a labor of love, and I appreciate them. But if there's a guardianship where things are going bad and they're starting to isolate that ward from their family or from their friends, this bill here provides a vehicle to make it easier for people to access the courts. They don't have to go and start a new case. Don't even necessarily have to hire an attorney, and it just provides some safeguards for these folks to give them. I recognize that they spent their lives accumulating these friends, building these relationships and these family relationships, and accumulating their property. They should have as much voice and dignity with that in the end of their life as possible. So that's probably my favorite accomplishment of the session was getting that passed with the help, obviously, of a lot of people who I a number of things. I would go ahead and say that I've sponsored one bill, which we just talked about, and I sponsored 2 resolutions. And those 2 resolutions, and I want to share that with my constituents. And as constituents, I love the fact that the session and the committees are all online now. And I try to share that with as many people as possible. And it's interesting to, find out that even businesses, once they learn about that, local businesses, they started, playing it online in the afternoon and watching. And that is so good for them and so good for us. And so I got more and more questions about the process. And so as I visit with constituents, I shared with them in the House of Representatives, the way we're set up in Arkansas now didn't used to be this way. The Speaker of the House, whoever that may be, so this is about the position, not about the person. The Speaker of the House has a great deal of power now. They select a number of the committee chairs. Not all of them. Until last session, they selected them all. Now we took some of that power back, but a number of the most powerful committees, they select the members for that, and they select the chairmanships. They select chairmanships for all the committees. We took back some of the committee selection. I misspoke there. And so because of that and so many other things that the Speaker has, that's a great deal of power concentrated in one person. Now that the Speaker does not answer to my constituents. And so a lot of the power then, you can see it's released into another person that does not answer to them directly. So many problems with that. So I sponsored 2 resolutions to take back some of that power that rests right now in the position of the Speaker, so that we can do that more by just choosing by seniority, and so that people are not we want our representatives to be more independent. We want to make sure that our focus as representatives is toward our constituents, not so much as, well, I know I need to represent my constituents, but there's also a speaker over here who's got a great deal of power. They can select me as a committee chair, or they can remove me as a committee chair. They can put me on the very powerful committees that make a lot of decisions, or they can remove me from that. And so I sponsored 2 resolutions to change those rules. They went before a committee that the Speaker himself selects all those members. And I didn't receive any questions. They were very polite. They listened to my presentation. No motion to pass. And I suspected that would happen. And so those bills went nowhere. But my goal during this interim is to share this information with the people, let them know more about how this process works, and encourage them to encourage their representatives. Look, we want more of the power. We want more of the focus back in our district, not concentrated in one person who does not answer to us, but has a great deal of power that can influence where bills go, how bills maybe work their way through the system or don't work their way through the system. No, I've really have enjoyed representing the District 92 people. They've been such a blessing, and they're involved, and they want to be involved, and that's what I'm hearing. I find encouragement from people when they say, what can we do? And let them know, look, you can have a voice, and this is how. So I think that there's hope. There's hope for people to continue to make a difference in the state. Thank you for the opportunity to visit.